G'day team, Adam here from Restore Native in the nursery today, and I'm talking about the different grades and sizes that we have our plants in, so you can get a bit of an understanding of the size of things and also why we grow them in that size. So we've got here next to me is Mānuka in a 40 cell grade. Now it's toward the end of the season, so this is a little bit taller than it normally is. We normally trim them off around that sort of 400 to 500 millimeters. That means that you've got a really good ratio. You can see the strong root development in here, and there's still strong growth up on top. Now a plant like Mānuka and those really hardy, fast growing species, they actually grow quite well in a 40 cell. That's absolutely fine, but some of the slower growing trees, we need to grow them in bigger grades. But you see the important thing is that strong roots, you can see new roots developing in here. They're all heading down, groove towards the bottom. They're growing well. We've got strong growth on top. You don't want to have too much growth on top, otherwise you've got a small engine driving a big car, and we know that's pretty slow and it's not going to go so well. So that's a 40 cell. That's a really great option for a low cost way of establishing hardy species. So we predominantly do this in Mānuka and Mānuka. We do it in some other species that are hardy, but the important thing with 40 cell is that they need to be hardy, fast growing and well developed. So that's the 40 cell. Now I'm going to bring in here a 28 cell. So this is a standard revegetation plant and pretty industry standard. We do a lot of council contracts and we do them in these 28 cell grades. So again, Mānuka here, really well root developed down here, all growing towards the bottom. About 600 millimeters on top. You can see that they've had a little bit of a trim and we're keeping them nice and tidy. They're not a pretty plant, but they're hardy as anything and they grow really well. This 28 cell suits most species in that revegetation and riparian planting, and they're nice and hardy. They grow really well. Again, root development is key and keeping that top in the right size. Now, we do grow a larger grade. And what I've got here today is some Tōtara. You have to forgive me, I've sort of bent it a little bit over and she's a little bit windy. But a Tōtara here in a 1 litre grade, it's a tray of 10. Again, you can see nice root development in here. You see fresh roots coming through, which is great. A nice big tall tree, that's sort of 800 or a metre tall. And the reason we grow things like Tōtara, kahikatea and 10 cells is it gives them a little bit more horsepower down here, a couple of extra years growth in the nursery, big strong trunk through here, and they just need a little bit more weight under them because they're not as fast growing and they're not as hardy. So selecting the right grade of tree is important. We grow things like the Mānuka and Mānuka and our other species through into this 10 cell as well, which is an option. If you want really hardy trees, you've got a difficult site, then that's good. But for the most case, a 28 cell is good for revegetation, and for your longer lived, you're looking at these 10 cell and these more special trees like that. But of course, every site's different, every budget's different. If you want to have a chat about what suits for you, get in touch.